Hello friends. Today we are going to discuss what all features should be kept in mind while buying a medical insurance for oneself and family members. In last 20 years of my experience in the insurance industry, the medical insurance industry has really evolved. 20 years back, only a 5 lakh cover was available maximum, but today there are as high covers as up to a value of 3 crores availability is there, and there are various features which are quite attractive like international treatment, OPD covers, maternity covers, but anything extra comes with an extra cost too. A normal medical insurance, whenever one is buying, I would recommend two things to be looked at. One, first, assess your current policy, what you already have. If there is a gap, try to fill it up. If there isn't, and you have a good medical insurance policy, please continue to take it forward. It should behave like a skin for you. It should stay with you till your last breath, because doing too many changes in the policy is also not recommended if it is up to the mark. Now let's look at what all features should be kept in mind. The foremost feature is that who is the payer of the policy. When I say the payer, I mean the ownership. There are two types ways which people buy plans. One is from their personal accounts where they are the payers, and the second, there is an employee benefit program which is given to them under their social security program by the organization or for the organization whom they are working with. If you ask me, the employee benefit program is going to be there till the time, that's a privilege which is given to you till the time you're servicing the organization. It is not a permanent cover. The day you retire, this cover would go away. And at that point of time, there's a high probability, because if you're aging and various other stress related or maybe lifestyle related issues might have come into your life, and there is a probability also that you are not given insurance at that time, you're denied insurance. So always run I would say a backup plan for yourself. Don't be totally dependent on your employer for the same. And even if it is an extra cost, but that's okay. The government is also giving you a taxation rebate under 80D, where whatever premium up to a maximum value of 25,000, if you pay towards your policy, that gets a deduction from your taxable income. Another smarter thing you can also do is, suppose your total family cover is costing you, let's assume, 50,000 bucks, and there are two people in the policy who are working, you and your spouse. Both of you can claim this money 50-50 out of it. Most of our customers, we encourage them to do that, because this also divides the expense between them and they derive better benefits out of it. Because most of the plans today sold are floater plans or individual covers also, but there is you're paying for your children along with your policy, or a complete family floater is designed for the family. Now, the second thing which you should look at is apart from the first thing we discussed was who has the ownership of the policy, and second is that in the same ownership, are your parents a part of the policy? If yes, there is also a high probability a limited 5 lakh cover would get exhausted on the elderly people in the plan. So always create a separate plan for yourself, that in case if a requirement comes up, your parents can utilize that policy, because buying a fresh cover for them is going to be really expensive because of their age brackets, and a lot of exclusions because of pre-existing ailments would get levied on it. So floater, how many people are there in the floater? What is the sum assured you carry in the floater? And what are the features? What I mean is that, is your employer allowing you to take the policy on your own when you leave the organization? Please do check on these things. It's important, because at the age of 58, again, less probability of you getting switched into a new plan would be there. Then the second feature, which is again very, very important, is that who's the catalyst in your product. When I say catalyst, I mean, how was the policy sourced from you? Have you bought the product from a bank? Have you bought the product from online portal like somewhere else? Or is there any advisor involved? It is very, very important, because this is just not a sales process which you've got into. It's a lifetime service you would require. When you're selecting this kind of a service provider, 3 to 4 questions should be there in your mind. tomorrow if I call, how fast this person would respond to my call. Second, would this the service provider be available 20 years or 10 years down the line, right? Because most of the people, once the sale is done, don't come back. Thirdly, most important thing is, what is the performance level of this service provider? That really makes a difference, because how well connected is he in his work? Because people who are on rolls, who are practicing every day, they also have created, their understanding of the product is much higher. It's just not a sale which is happening, it's a recommendation, a proper, I would say, a proper proposal which gets designed as per your requirement. It's more of a need-based strategy this customer would design for you. Now, if these three questions are answered well, especially in banking sector, I have faced issues where my customers have come back and at the end we have serviced them, because the bank who sold them the medical insurance is nowhere, that relationship manager is nowhere. I mean the customer is not even aware where he has moved or he has progressed in his life. There is a new face every time, especially on portals, online portals. The IVR situation, the customer has to repeat the story one by one again to new people with new voices at the back. There's no face to the person whom you are talking. And this is where an advisor intervenes, because an advisor would always be there, would help you during the time when a claim situation comes up. So second, as we discussed, is who's your catalyst. So prefer buying from people who are in the business, who are there for their longevity. They've spent the kind of time they've spent, how experienced they are, especially in medical insurance, because this is going to be there. You might be needing it maybe 10, 20 years down the line. You would need somebody to service you. Then the third thing which you should look at is the benefit program of your policy. When I say benefit program, many of the people I have come across during my servicing my customers and during my sales processes and all, I've analyzed that this customer is not aware what a gestation period is, what are the exclusions in the policy. The maximum what they tell me is that I have a 5 lakh of a medical insurance with a payout of, I'm paying about 25k a premium for that for my whole family. Rest, they know nothing about it. One feature which you should look at first most is, what is the kind of exclusion my policy carries. There is a gestation period involved in the policy. When I say gestation period, this is the time spent when the policy becomes active. Across industry, most of the companies have gestation period ranging from 30 days to 4 years. And then there is again an exclusion phase which is on pre-existing diseases. Most of the policies do not cover a pre-existing diseases immediately. There are very few of them. I've not come across any till date. When I say pre-existing, if the customer is suffering from diabetes, hypertension, thyroid, or any kind of ailment where he or she is on medication, there is an exclusion which the company limits depending upon the status of the customer. And the third, at times it gets declined also. So either it is 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That means any situation where the customer is going to be sick or hospitalized because of its pre-existing issues for a span of 2 or 3 years, the claim will not be paid. Post that, the policy would be completely 100% active. So please do look into, when you're buying this, gestation and pre-existing disease exclusion. Third thing which you should look at is that what are the room cappings, what are the cappings designed on the plan. The ambulance cappings, there are room cappings. Most of the policies have. Some policies offer you 1% of the sum assured being promised as the room rent. So do not have these kind of bindings in your plans. My suggestion is this. Then apart from gestation, we talked about the room rent. There are also, I've come across policies where there is a capping on the amount of expense for a cardiac ailment. So please go through the fine prints. These kind of exclusions should not be there in your product when you're buying. Then last, which most of the time the policy starts people viewing from that point, is the premium of the plan, how compatible it is. Please understand, when you have higher benefits, the premium is going to be higher, right? So your criteria of selection should not start from the premium, it should start reverse from the benefit program. Premium is the last thing. There are products which are cheaper, because of their time spent, then again a recommendation that when you're buying a backup plan, you can always opt for a higher gestation period. You can also always opt for a waiting period, because for that time your employer program is already there with you. So if a situation comes up, you will utilize your employer program, right? And by the time you retire, this backup plan would become completely active when you need you would have a requirement coming up. Your medical insurance is going to be there till your last breath with you. It's more like your skin. So be very wise when you're selecting such products for yourself. Just don't go on the pricing. You might spend a little higher, but don't be, deprived of a benefit program later. It is wise to spend. Take this as an expense. I would recommend, when you're filling up a check, think that it is just an expense, or probably a kind of a charity program where you're funding you're parking this money in a fund which is going to come handy for people who currently need it and later when you would be needing it. Right? So another thing, we as a financial and a risk consultant are open for any kind of assessments. We're not charging you anything. In case you would like to review your policy, or you would like to understand, feel free to call us and connect with us. Probably we'll be able to give you the right information, because being in the industry for long, and we already have about 5 to 6 companies on our panel we are servicing. We know what all kind of products are designed. Get an assessment done, fill up the gaps if there are any today. And apart from this, fortunately, the IRDA has also permitted portability now. This is not I'm sharing probably to make a sale or something, but yes, if at times you have done some mistakes in your previous plans, you've not updated the right information, some misinterpretation is there, and now you feel it is wise to update your health status and all, please come forward, do it, so that at a time when a need comes in, you are not denied those benefits. Secondly, when I say portability, if your policy is totally claim free, you have not claimed anything over the past years, and you have the right policy packs with you, most of the companies are accepting plans with higher insurance. They put you to fresh underwriting and they write your business. My name is Shalini Kohli, and I work with, I run a company of my own with the name of Wealth Vedas. My phone number is 9810890661, and my email ID is shalini.kohli21 SHALINI KOHLI21 numeric at yahoo.com. Feel free to write to me in case of any queries, and we take it further from there. We don't charge anything for this services. Thank you very much.